Welcome to the Quantum Healer. This is Dr. Tracey Allshafer, actually Reverend Dr. Tracey Allshafer. And I'm so excited about today's episode. I'm here with Marie Scolari, who is in Hillsborough I can't wait to talk about where you are and how meaningful this place is to me and share that story. But the name of your place is Boundless Love and Light
Wellness Center.
And it is a ministry technically.
Yes.
Here in Plainsboro.
It is a ministry, and everybody that comes here is a part of the community, part of the ministry, a member of Boundless Love and Light Wellness Center, so that makes it a little more special for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I love this technology. So we're here to talk about EESystem, which was, well, why don't you tell me how you came to this?
Okay.
Like, tell us who you are and how you came to this, and then we'll get into the technology.
Yes. So, born here in New Jersey. I've been on my own personal healing journey my whole life. Even as a child, you know, I was looking to grow spiritually, emotionally. Started psychotherapy as a client in my early 20s and went into the profession of being a psychotherapist. So prior to opening up Boundless Love and Light Wellness Center, I was a psychotherapist and I owned Inner Light Counseling Center. That was in Somerville, New Jersey. I owned that for 31 years.
Wow.
I was a psychotherapist by profession. And I did almost every kind of healing modality there is on myself. I've done shamanism, I've done psychotherapy myself, I've done Reiki, I've done the one with the cranial sacral, so many different things, the Rife machine, so many different things. And then I retired, and I was I couldn't wait to retire. I ran a business for 31 years by myself. And it wasn't a real small business, so it was a lot of responsibility.
I get that, yeah.
All I wanted to do was retire. I was going to spend time with my great nieces and my great nephews. I was going to do my singing. I was going to do my dancing. You know, all the things you can't do when you're running a business. And about 8-9 months into retirement, I saw a video with Jason Shurka and Dr. Sandra Rose Michael talking about the EESystem. I was literally in the waiting room of a medical office and watching this video, and I reached out to Jason Shurka, and within 5 minutes, he got back to me. He emailed me and he texted me, and we arranged to talk. And what I had said to him is, like, the video was so impactful. It's talking about this technology, the EESystem. It's scalar wave energy, it's chromotherapy, biophotonic therapy, but primarily the scalar waves is what creates a high frequency. So there's 4, we're only seeing the one column, but there's 4 columns of 6 computers, basically. And what this technology is doing is it's harnessing the energy from the sun in our solar system, the stars in the universe. So somehow it's able to harness this energy, and it's filling the entire room with 5th dimensional energy. Now, we know that we live in a 3rd dimensional world, and we are 3rd dimensional beings. I was watching a video with Ishmael Perez and Ileana, the star traveler, and Ishmael Perez, who I respect, said that in the 5th dimension, we are in perfect health. Our bodies are in perfect health in the 5th dimension. So that everybody who comes in this room is getting a time period of living in the 5th dimensional energy. It's a higher spiritual energy, right? So obviously, the higher we are spiritually, the more our bodies are going to heal, the more we're going to connect to our own spirits, the more we're going to connect to God or the universe or whoever, you know, that particular person might believe in. People will come in here, and typically it's 2-hour session. Dr. Michael, who invented the technology, or invented at least the EESystem, she didn't invent scalar wave, She says that a minimum of 2 hours, because that's when our body gets into the theta state, which is that state of healing. And now we can leave after 2 hours and our body will continue to heal. Going back to the scalar energy, it was discovered. It's energy out in the universe. It's similar to like, it's a longitudinal wave, similar to like sound waves, if you can understand that science. I don't quite understand it. It was discovered by James Maxwell in the 1900s, but it really didn't become known until Nikola Tesla came around.
So who is Maxwell?
He's just a scientist as well.
Scientist in the early 1900s.
Yes, and then Nikola Tesla was the one who kind of brought it out to people's awareness. Now, if people don't know who Nikola Tesla was, he found free energy, and he also created all of these, energy medicines. But, after Nikola Tesla died, this all went to the wayside.
Right.
And so that's where this goes as far back. Our knowledge of the scalar wave energy goes back that far.
So tell me what the first time you had a session, what happened for you?
Well, my mother was 90, she was 93.
Okay.
She was 93 at the time. She's just about to be 94. So it was last June. So less than a year ago. All this happened very, very fast, by the way. There are, what I just read the other day, there are 200 centers in less than a year.
Whoa.
This video went out in late May of 2022.
Okay.
And there are 200 centers either open or opening throughout the world.
Wow. Wow.
All in less than 1 year.
Okay.
So people, I've heard said many times, energy medicine is the medicine of the future. After I watched that video, I was just so excited about it that I wanted to get my mother there in particular, right?
Right.
So we're driving there and my mother says to me, Marie, I just hope it helps me because I have to push myself to do everything.
Okay.
And my mom was always a very strong person, she was really, really struggling. And so I saw her 4 days later. We went to lunch. She was still feeling fabulous. She said, I feel like myself again. Her energy was so much stronger. Her constitution was so much stronger.
Wow.
Her mind was clearer. She was like a new person.
Wow.
I mean, she said, I feel like myself again. But she went downhill very quickly. And she went downhill during COVID.
Yeah.
So she was doing just fine before that. I noticed that one thing almost everybody who comes in here experiences, they have greater peace. They have greater energy for days. Their whole overall constitution, they just feels stronger. And their mind is clearer. So, I mean, those benefits in and of themselves are enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, many more testimonies than that, but that was my first experience.
And what I'll show on the video is you have about 16 or so zero gravity chairs set up. So multiple people can be here at the same time. Right. I have had the benefit of being here a couple of different times. One time I was here, I was kind of by myself for the first hour, and then a few people came in after. The second time I was here, I would say maybe half of the room or 2/3 of the room, maybe people were in the room. I don't think that, both times were fantastic for me. I enjoyed it either way. And the people that come in are very lovely, and they're, it's quiet, and you just kind of sit and do your thing or meditate or sleep. Very relaxing, very relaxing.
One other thing that's very, very profound for me is when you come into this room, because you're connecting with the higher spiritual energy, we have a higher spiritual energy, fifth dimensional energy in here, higher frequency. If you meditate in here, or if you pray in here, or you do like a guided imagery with yourself, anything like that,
right,
you go so much deeper. It's like you feel like you're connecting to the universe more. You feel like you're connected to God more. People have said that they've seen Jesus in the room. They've seen Saint Germain in the room. They've seen angels in the room. So I love that. To me, this is a ministry, and we are here to minister to people who are in need, who are sick.
Right.
So that feels really important to me.
Yeah. I want to share a little bit of my experience, and I think I've shared this with you. So I have still dealing with a recovery from this rotator cuff tear. Pretty bad. I have 3 partial thickening tears and some sprains, and I couldn't move my arm much at all. And moreover, there was this excruciating nerve pain. The muscle was just stuck in a state of contraction. Everything was so tight, it was pinching nerves, and I was having this burning pain. I was having a throbbing pain, and then in the spot in the joint capsule, a stabbing pain. So it was all this stuff. It was all this pain, and I was going, I don't know how much more I can take this pain, and I'm a healer, and I'm doing whatever I can do. So I reach out to a former student of mine, and he has some issues with his own body, so he checks out alternative therapies all the time, and I knew that he would have something. Just, I think, my intuition, because when you're in that much pain, your brain's not functioning, but I think that higher self and intuitive self just said, reach out to him. So he said, I'm going to give you these 3 places, and they're all fantastic. And the first was a woman that I can't remember, but she does some kind of modality, and he thought if I went to her a handful of times, she might have my shoulder moving again. But that wasn't quite my issue. The second was a woman that was like an herbalist that did energy healing and stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know. The third one was, here's this new place that just opened up. I don't know anything about it. It's a frequency healing. And I said, that's the one. And I emailed you, and just like you said how in 5 minutes he emailed you back,
Right.
you emailed me back very quickly as well. And my questions to you were, does this help for pain? You know, does this help eliminate pain? I told you what my issue was. You said, absolutely. And I think the next morning I made an appointment and I came up here. And as I'm driving here, I'm remembering, the last time I was in Hillsborough was 23 years ago when I went to a holistic massage school, Health Choices, up here. Oh, this looks familiar, that looks familiar. And I'm driving up and I'm feeling nostalgic and I'm thinking, this is really kind of cool. 22 years later after graduating, and I'm back up in Hillsborough and going to this cool new place. And the GPS pulls me in to the same building I went to massage school in, to the same room. So this room that you have this set up in is where I did student clinic.
Right.
It's where I learned all these holistic techniques, and to wrap the whole synchronicity around, the first time I had a left shoulder injury was in massage school.
Oh my goodness.
I actually injured myself at work. I herniated a disc in my neck, and I had numbness to this thumb and a frozen shoulder. And here I am 22 years later with the same thing, not a herniated disc, although I know my neck's involved, but this tear, same frozen shoulder, same numbness, only it's like worse. But I felt like, okay, there's a 22-year cycle, and that number, right? It's this master number. It's called the master builder. And I felt like this is significant. The reason I'm here is I'm shifting again. At that time, I was shifting from corporate America to yoga and massage therapy. Now I just closed my yoga studio, and I'm shifting again into kind of an unknown, because I didn't really know what I was going to be doing in this next phase. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, this is just really bizarre, but I'm tingling all over, and I'm like, this is so amazing. And the colors, which we'll get to in a minute too, these this particularly, these colors are very meaningful for me as well with healing. And I'm sitting here and I got a vision that I needed to do a TV show and talk about these things to people. So here we are.
Right.
So here we are.
Right.
And what I want to say is I got out into the car after that 2-hour session and I actually recorded myself and I said, I feel better. And it got me out of the pain cycle. It
glad.
broke the pain cycle. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I don't feel pain, but it broke that cycle. It allowed me to start to focus again. I mean, like what you were saying with the clarity and the energy, but for me, the biggest thing was, okay, I broke that. I mean, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was at the edge of my limit of tolerance.
Yeah.
And this broke that cycle for me.
Right.
So I'm incredibly appreciative that you opened this space. And the owner of our massage school said she's very happy to know it's still a healing space.
Oh, that's nice. You brought up that, in your honesty, which I'm glad you were honest, that it didn't take away your pain completely. This is not something, I mean, yes, some people will come in and, there'll be that miraculous healing but that's not, that's the exception rather than the rule. This is something that, just like you go to the gym regularly, you want to come here regularly because it's a cumulative healing. Right? So you can't expect to be in a fifth dimensional healing frequency for 2 hours and then go back out into the third dimensional world and, your whole body is completely healed. Like Dr. Michael says, the best thing you could do is sleep in this, because when you're sleeping in the system, you're already in that deep theta state. So our body naturally heals in the evening when we're sleeping.
Right.
So we do have overnights.
So explain to me, how does that work? Are you still in the zero gravity chair?
People can sleep in the zero gravity chair. I do want to say this before I forget. Every Wednesday night, we allow, like, for people who have severe cancer, like, stage 3, stage 4 cancer, we have no charge. They can sleep here.
Really?
For no charge. And that's every Wednesday night. So I did want to mention that. But we have 3 mattresses, like memory foam mattresses.
I see them over there.
People can choose to sleep on those. We ask them to bring their own sheets and pillows. But some people just fall asleep in here in 2 hours on the zero gravity chair. So it's whatever you like. And we only allow like one family or one group of friends. It's not 30 strangers sleeping in here.
Right.
There's usually only a few people sleeping in here each night. So, that's important to know. But my point is that the more you're coming, the stronger you're going to get. We have a gentleman, broke my heart. I was speaking to him on the phone before he came in. He was in a car accident like 14 years earlier. Not a car accident. He had a fall. And it changed his life. He was in pain. He had severe depression, manic depressive. He said that he was in such a state that he literally 5 times had plans to kill himself.
Wow.
He came here 2 hours, but for a total of 14 hours. And he said, I talked to him the other day. Now, it's been like maybe 5 weeks since he started coming. I talked to him the other day. We have a blog post on our website, which is boundlessloveandlighthealingcenter.com. We have a blog post about his story on our website. But this man went from not wanting to live to, pain subsiding, complete mental healing, complete healing. He said he felt like he hasn't felt this way in 14 years. And in fact, the name of the blog that he gave us the title for is, You Don't Know What You Have Until You Lose It, basically. So there aren't like miracle stories. We had a woman with grapefruit-sized tumor, and within like 14 to 16 hours, that was gone. Wow. We have a man, he was one of the first men who came here. He was paralyzed in a wheelchair for 36 years. My staff and myself, we meet this man. He's a lovely, lovely, lovely man. He was from Canada. And all we wanted was for his healing, And he came in and he stayed for a total of 4 hours, 2 hours on a Friday, 2 hours on a Saturday. That was before we opened it up for overnights. And he called me a couple days later and he said, Marie, I started feeling things
Wow.
in my lower body, like pain.
Wow.
He was feeling pain, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's feeling pain. And the psychic told his friend, your friend Daryl's nerves are regenerating. And then he came and he slept here. And each time he came, he would feel the tingling while he's here, but he would feel the nerves regenerating when he left. So I think this has the potential to even help somebody, you know, who's paralyzed. He was paralyzed for 36 years. Wow. We have another man that sleeps here. He had a stroke, and when he's here, he's starting to feel the tingling and the energy in his body. It's like one side of his body is paralyzed, but he's starting to get some movement back in his arm and stuff. But it's a process. It is a process. You're not going to heal overnight. Most of us don't heal overnight.
But from what I'm hearing from you and from what I've experienced, this was a huge catalyst for jump-starting that healing process. And then you have people that are coming back regularly and they're seeing these benefits just kind of growing and coming through. I mean, for me, I can relate to what you just said, the first story of the gentleman, because when you're in that kind of pain, I mean, what it does to your brain, and I don't know that I've ever been depressed before, but I was at that point where you're like, I can't live with this anymore, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, I'm sure there are people out there that are there or have been there, and you're wondering, what can I do? I have tremendous respect for our medical community and all that they do and all the progress that we've made. But I think combining technologies like this are extremely helpful for our healing process.
It's a good adjunct, yes. Even people like Dr. Michael says, and the members that come in with cancer, it enhances the chemotherapy treatment. Like, we're not saying don't do what your doctor's recommending. We're just saying that it will enhance whatever it is you are doing. Right. And some people opt not to go the medical route. That's their choice. Right. But it'll enhance medication you're taking. It'll take the negative effects of that medication out. Dr. Michael even says it restores your DNA. Yeah. And it's important to know that this technology is not healing the body. It is providing the cells of your body with the higher energy, the higher frequency, the food it needs, if you will, to heal itself. Right. So it is not healing the body. It is just providing your body with what it needs to heal itself. Right. Because we can heal ourselves. That's the thing. Yeah. So can we talk a little bit about what's going on the screens? Do you know anything about why the colors were chose, or not really? I don't really know why the colors were chosen. What I do know is that each screen, so on this column, the lower screen has like a blue and a pink, and in every other column, the lowest screen has a blue and a pink. I know that each screen represents a different type of frequency. Like, one might be for your immune system. Okay. You know, I have one in my bedroom that's for sleep. Okay. So that type of thing. But I don't really understand the chromotherapy piece of this. Okay. And it's very important to realize you do not need to look at these screens at all for healing. You just have to be in the You just need to be in the energy field. So watching them on the video isn't giving them the same effect. You have to be in the space. Well, I mean, Dr. Michael does say that you can get some benefit from them just watching this video. Perfect. To me, it looks like codes. It looks like some kind of light codes that are scrolling. And I notice they get faster, and then they go the other way. They go slower. Right, they reverse, they go fast, they go slow, Yeah, so, you know, and the first time I came in, I thought, do I open my eyes? Do I look around? Do I close my eyes? Wait, I should meditate? But what is going on? And it's like, you kind of want to feel it all out. And it is interesting. I think, whatever you want to do. Like you're saying, if you can get in that meditative state and sleep, that's even better. But if you get a little caught up like I did with watching it, that's good too. It's fine. It's fine. You know, the thing, you will go into like a more relaxed, peaceful state when it will help anxiety.
Yeah.
It absolutely helps your mental, your depression, your anxiety. So.
Well, you're in New Jersey, which is great if you're watching this and you're in that area. But for people who are not in New Jersey, I really want to give them what's a resource to find other practitioners or vendors.
You go to unifiedhealing.com, and Unified is spelled UNIFYD. Healing.com. That's Jason Shirka's website.
Okay.
He's the one who's bringing this out to the world. He's bringing the awareness of this out to the world. So,
well, wouldn't it be great if this was connected to some kind of solar panels, because this has to be a little bit of electricity?
No, it's not. No, it's not a lot.
Oh, okay.
It isn't.
That's good to know.
Yeah. It's like each one is like a light bulb.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking all these units are running.
I know.
And it's
I thought the
costing
same
a
thing
lot.
too.
Well, that's another good plus then. So, Marie, first of all, there is an elevator here. So if somebody is in a wheelchair or anything, they can get up here. They can sit in their own chair if they can't get in the other chair, obviously. Are there any contraindications, things where people, maybe this isn't for them?
No. You can come in with a pacemaker, but there's nothing, this is only energy, and it cannot hurt you. So anybody, what I will say, if like you have diabetes, it definitely lowers blood sugar. So you want to be careful. You want to, first of all, test your blood sugar before, test your blood sugar after, bring yourself some juice or, whatever you might need. We have had several people with diabetes whose blood sugar's lowered. We had one woman with type 1 diabetes where actually her numbers went down 30 points.
Whoa.
While, like, from the time she started till the time she left,
that's
her
a lot.
numbers had gone down 30 points. Right. So, that's pretty amazing too. So you need to be careful if you have diabetes. But in terms of, a lot of people call me and say, well, I have a pacemaker or I have screws in my knee. Is that okay? Yes. Absolutely. Every morning I wake up, I sit up in bed and I spend a little time in my devotional time. And during that time, I literally call in the love and the light of God. I imagine the love and the light of God filling the place. And I call in the angels, call in a host of healing angels, and to just bring extra healing to everybody that's in the room. So I want people to know that for me, this is not a business necessarily. It is, in fact, a ministry. We are here to help. I came out of retirement, something I would never do.
That's a big deal.
I came out of nothing was going to get me out of retirement. I loved being retired.
Yeah.
And I was only retired like 8 or 9 months. But I came out of retirement to be a part of this movement to help heal the world.
Yeah.
And that's where my heart is, and that's what my intention is.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Marie.
me.
I really am so excited to.
And thank you for getting this information out to the world, because people don't know about the EESystem.
They don't.
Well,
they hopefully will now. Like you said, it exploded in a year to over 200, and who knows where it will go from here. But we just have so much healing that we need to do in the world, and
and as a last note, if you would put underneath in the credits the video Revolution of Healing. The interview with Dr. Michael and Jason Shirka, because that will help people to understand the technology better.
Okay, yeah, because we're not scientists. We're doctors, but in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So,
and she talks a little bit about the science, but she talks about other things in that video as well.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating video.
It really is. It really is. I watched most of it. And she has a lot to say, and even her story is really interesting, and how she came to this. Thank you so much, Marie, and maybe we'll be back to talk about some of the other things that you're bringing in, so that people can see how they work as well.
Great.
Thank you so much.